go ahead and turn to the Celtics. Look, man, the Celtics, I said this in the beginning. There was no reason why they should have lost this series. And as well as Jimmy Butler played, I don't think he went berserk. Besides game one, he didn't really go berserk like he did in the Milwaukee series. Like, that's Jimmy Butler putting the team on his back. You let Caleb Martin and Gabe Vincent outplay you for the majority of the series. This can't happen. And on on the flip side of it, you can say, you know, the Udoka situation fucked them to begin the season. They lose their head coach. That's big, especially a guy in Udoka, because he was a damn good head coach. He made it to the finals last year. So that hurt them. But at the end of the day, you still got these great players. You got Marcus Smart, a defensive player of the year guy. Jaylen Brown, who made an all NBA team this year. Jason Tatum, the superstar, the top 10 guy in the league, people want to say. And it's just never not enough, man. Last year they lost to the Warriors. This is not the first time around that they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they just cannot get it done. And at some point, you just got to clean your hands, man, and, start from scratch. I'm not saying trade Jason Tatum or anything, but pretty sure those two guys are up for contract with Jaylen Brown and Tatum. And I'm not questioning you pay a guy in Jason Tatum, but do you really want to commit to the Tatum and Brown duo? Because I don't really see it paying dividends at this point. I feel like if you want to say there's a window, maybe next year's when their window finally closes. But after that, like, would you really want to commit in this thing? Like, this is proven to us that it's Eastern Conference Finals most of the time. And yeah, that's great. That's great. Like, it sells tickets. And, a team like the Charlotte Hornets will love to be in the Celtics situation. But this is the Boston Celtics we're talking about. They expect championships. And let's just be blunt about it. The Celtics haven't won a championship in about 15 years. That's how long it's been. It's been a while. And they have had numerous chances. It seems like their window has been open ever since then. The Isaiah Thomas teams have been to the Eastern Conference Finals. Then you got the Tatum and Brown era that came right after that. So they've been in great positions, but I think with this whole head coaching thing, because I wouldn't keep Missoula. I would move on from him. I know Nick Nurse is off the board, and a couple other guys are already signed and ready to go with some teams, but I just don't think you run it back with that guy. And a guy like Marcus Smart, like, maybe you should move off a guy like him. But if it was me, I would try to trade Jaylen Brown, maybe a sign and trade, and go out and get a guy like Damian Lillard. I think Damian Lillard is a guy that can come in there and really have a different mentality for a guy like Jason Tatum or anyone else who's on that team, because I just feel like they lack that killer mentality. And even a guy that hates them, but it's on a lesser scale of talent, even a guy like Draymond Green, who I don't see going to the Celtics because I don't think he likes the Celtics all that much. But a guy like that can really change the dog and the Boston Celtics, because I feel like they miss it. They really do. And last year it was Draymond Green. This year it was Jimmy Butler. I just feel like you need more. And if I'm the GM, I think I've seen enough. I know what our ceiling is with these two guys and this team. And it's obviously not good enough. A good example of this, I'd love to bring the football and basketball comparison to the table, but a team like the San Francisco 49ers, who, they're great. Their team is phenomenal. And they always miss out on that quarterback position, though. And people forever were like, Jimmy G this, Jimmy G that. He wins. He's a winner, blah, blah, blah. But you can't get over that hump. You've been so close. and your window is open because you got all these talented players, and you're quote unquote super young and we can win for years to come. But we need a guy to take us over that hump, and it's time for a change, and it takes a gamble to do it. And for the 49ers part, it kind of missed out on it with the whole Trey Lance situation, but I mean, they still made it back to the NFC Championship somehow, and they took a swing. And I'm not saying that if the Celtics take a swing that they'll end up just like the Niners, but I would at least try something new while Jason Tatum is still relatively young, and go with a guy like Damian Lillard and take a swing and don't play the safe route, was just paying a guy like Jaylen Brown for 6 years or whatever it is. I'm just not going to do it. I'm sorry.